Jungko halang.
Thanks for tuning in to Spectator Sports. Your boy Ronnie Lott, the sports jock. I got talent in the building with me. Say something, talent.
It's your boy Talent. I'm in the building, a.k.a. I don't mess with the devil, a.k.a. Country Black got shot in the face,
Hello. Okay, folks, don't listen to this fool.
a.k.a. It's the young Warren Buffett. Do anything for that money. Hey, I don't worship the devil, but hey, what other people do with their business, that's their problem.
Folks, we also got a special guest in the building. We got the unflappable, the unconquerable, one of the fantasy champions from one of my fantasy leagues. We got double A-Ron in the building. This kid knows his sports. What's up, A-Ron? All right, let's go ahead and talk a little NBA. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you where to find us. Y'all check me on Twitter at Ronnie Lott. Check us at Spectator Sport, the #1, at FUK Josh. You got my teammate over there. Check us at Holland Jungle. You know who supports us, who get us in the building. You can check us at Muscle Beats. You know you got the new mixtape coming. Thanks again for tuning in to Spectator Sports. Let's get in. Let's talk about the Lakers because you know the Lakers always cheating. They always signing everybody and their mama. Since the Heat won the championship, I know the Lakers going to switch it up and try to do something. So they start out with Nash, the kid that doesn't get tired. This kid got so what do you think about the Nash move, talent?
I mean, I've been taking a look at that trade of late, and me and Raheem, Radio Raheem, people you know him, I don't really like the trade. You give a 37-year-old man all that money, you give away future picks, and this guy can't guard Westbrook or Tony Parker, so you're going to have the same problems on defense, you know, when you face these teams, which obviously, you know, San Antonio and OKC are going to be the favorites to win, you know, the West next year. So, I guess you make your point guard position better, but I don't know if it's going to work out in the long run because you still can't beat either one of those two teams.
What do you think about that, A-Ron? Double A, what do you think about the Laker move?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I like it. I mean, I don't really look at it as more of a long-term move. I make it, you know, it's more of a short-term move. They're trying to win that championship. They want to compete with the Heat. You know, they want to compete with the Thunder. You know, they want to win now. And Nash, I mean, yeah, 37 years old. Yeah, it's a lot of money to give him, but I mean, I think right there that makes him at least the favorites to go to the Western Conference Championship at the very least.
But it has.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead. But I was about to say it have long-term effects, though, if you're giving up future picks, you know, to build on your team in the future. I understand people make the argument, well, the Lakers pick late anyways, but that doesn't matter because you never know where they're going to be at 3 years from now or 2 years from now if he retires. You might have a lottery pick at that point in time, so it still kind of hurts them to me because I still think with the addition of Nash, they're still not going to be able to beat the Thunder or San Antonio because he can't defend.
Well, it's understood. I think that's just probably the one weakness he has is that his defense is a little lax. But I mean, the Lakers, they're one of those teams. There's a few teams in the league where it's win now. So I think they're just setting up to win now, to compete now. I don't think they can care less about draft picks.
I mean, they might not be able to care about draft picks, but you got to think about it. You got a immature big man who sometimes doesn't want to play. Paul Gasol, he's just weak, period. He played weak this whole season. And then you got an aging Kobe. I understand Kobe, he was tops in scoring this year, but can he continue to do that? Can he continue to take 50 shots a game to get those buckets because everybody else on the team is not producing?
But no, Nash changes that. Now Nash is able to set that team up. You talk about you got a guy like, I think Nash can make a guy like Andrew Bynum special where now you coming off the pick and roll, you throwing lobs to Bynum where plays where Kobe had to create. Now you got another facilitator.
Bynum's not a pick and roll guy though. He's not. Bynum's not a pick and roll guy. He's not that guy. He's a low post dude. You throw a ball in the low post and you let him do his thing. He's not coming up off on high screens, rolling down to the basket. He doesn't have the athleticism. He's not Dwight Howard.
And they might be having Dwight Howard. So if you make a Dwight Howard move, and if you start out with Nash now and they're able to make a move for Dwight, which looks completely possible, they're 50-50 on that trade. So if you can get that Dwight trade happen, imagine Kobe, Nash, and Dwight Howard, that's a cheat. That's a damn all-star team. Only team that could beat that team is the Heat.
Nets. Howard wants the Nets, though. He doesn't want the LA. He's not going to sign that deal. He already said it. He said the only team he wants to be traded to is the Nets.
I think those type of things can definitely change. How do you think Dwight Howard's impact or signing with that team, how does that make the Nash trade look, Aaron?
Well, I mean, any team, even if Dwight Howard decides he doesn't want to go to the Lakers, he goes to another team or anything. He could go to, Brooklyn or anything like that. But any team he goes is going to make a large impact. He's going to control the middle. He's going to do that. But on the Lakers with Nash, I don't know. I still think the Thunder are slightly favored because I still think they'll be able to score. I still think they'll be able to put up those points. But with Dwight Howard, like I said, I definitely think Western Conference at the very least. And then, we'll see how it goes there. But at the very least, it definitely puts them in one of those top 3 upper echelon teams in the West. I definitely think it works for them.
Let's talk about another team making moves. The team that Nash was actually traded from, the Phoenix Suns, who recently signed Eric Gordon, which I think was definitely a nice signing, a really good young shooting guard. And they also signed Michael Beasley. So how do you feel the impacts of those moves helped that Suns team with Nash departing? And I think they sign Dragic again, the point guard. Gordon.
No, he got traded to the Rockets.
Okay, trade to the Rockets. What do you think about that move, Tal?
He got re-signed with the Suns. You're right. Yeah. Well, no, the Suns that's great. Yeah, they re-signed the point guard. They get. I mean, if he doesn't stay with the Hornets, they will get Eric Gordon, and Michael Beasley can play in the NBA. I mean, he can average you 15. I think he can average you at least 20 points a game. To be honest with you, I just think he needs to get the opportunity. So I think at least they're at the 8th seed in the West right now. I mean, they're making good moves. They're making good trades. The Phoenix Sun fans talking about, we don't want Nash to go. No, get the old man out of here. I mean, you have to rebuild for the future. And the young point guard, Grogridge, whatever his name is, he's a good young point guard. Definitely. He can score. He can pass it. He can facilitate. He does, and with Gordon being able to score and Beasley, he's a scorer as well, I think they can be an AC.
What do you think about that, Double A?
Well, I mean, like you said, Eric Gordon, it's a long-term move. I think as you said, he can pass, he can facilitate the game, he can score a little bit. That's good, but that's pretty much what Steve Nash was doing. I mean, that was Steve Nash's job. So I think the Eric Gordon pickup helps, but that team is rebuilding. Not just for losing Nash, but with all those draft picks they had in this year's draft. They're rebuilding. So even with Eric Gordon, I really do think they're still going to struggle. But, maybe in a year or two, who knows? But I think even with Eric Gordon, with the picks that they got and the moves that they made, they'll probably still make some more. I still think they got a little bit more work to do, but it's a good start.
They're going after Aaron Brooks, too, the point guard from the Rockets. So, like I said, they're not waiting for the future. These moves are for now. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I see them as being an AC. You signing Beasley, a seasoned veteran that's in the NBA right now. Gordon is a top good all-star in the game if he just can stay healthy. The Grogridge kid, he can play. And you put Aaron Brooks on that team, I can see them easily making the AC.
Folks, thanks again for tuning in to Spectator Sport. Let me lighten the mood up a little bit. Talon, could you say the Suns point guard name one more time?
I don't know how to pronounce Grogridge. I don't know how to pronounce that dude's name.
Sorry, folks. I had to do that to him. I know Flies got problems with linguistics, so I had to do it to him. Let's go ahead and move on to the next move. Let's talk about New Jersey Nets. I mean, I've been in conversations with a lot of my buddies throughout the week, and surprisingly, the New Jersey Nets is coming up in conversation a lot. They've been in the news. You talk about possibly landing Dwight Howard, and you talk about that team signing Joe Johnson. Then you sign Wallace from Portland. Then you also get Darren Williams to re-sign with you. So you talk about that looking like a real strong team to still have. Did they get rid of Chris Humphries?
No, they're still there. Having Lopez is still there.
You still got Lopez. You got Humphries, and don't they have a young power forward that's fairly good?
No,
Think it was,
I just know those two.
okay. What do you think about those moves? Double A.
Well, I mean, it all depends. It's still early. I mean, the Darren Williams, that's big. That's very big. And if they can land Dwight Howard, that'll be even better. I mean, but the moves they made already puts them in the playoffs, and that's a big change. And that's a big change from last year. So, it's good, but I still think they still need to make a couple moves. I look at them like they may be equal right now to what the New York Knicks can do. But that can all change with Dwight Howard. It can change with one move. So far, so good. But like I said, still got to make some moves, and they're still, if they make those right moves, they could be in contention this year. But if they stay where they're at now, it's good, especially with the opening of the new arena and moving to Brooklyn. It's good. So they got a couple faces, they got a couple people they can fill some seats, but they still got to do a couple things. But they're heading in the right direction as well.
All right, Talon, what do you think about the Nets?
I mean, the addition of Joe Johnson, I mean, that puts some top 6 in the East alone. Just that addition alone with Joe Johnson. Brook Lopez is the beast down low. A lot of people probably don't really know who Brook Lopez is because he doesn't have that name in the NBA right now. But with Gerald Wallace and Humphreys coming off the bench, he's a double-double guy. And just Darren Williams alone, I think that's the top 6 team right now with that signing, getting him to come back. And Joe Johnson is a top scorer in the league too, So I think they're a top 6 team in the league easy. Now, if you get Dwight on that team, you easily put them in the top 3. I mean, if they get everything together initially. But I think with the pick and roll with Darren Williams and Dwight Howard, that would work beautiful. And also, the spot-up shooting, Gerald Wallace can stroke it and Joe Johnson can too. So, the teams are going to have a lot to think about, if they get Dwight Howard.
Still not ready for that Heat move. Do you think, so does these moves make the Nets the best team in New York, or are we still going with the Knicks? What do you think about that, Double A?
With the moves they made right now, as you were saying, with Joe Johnson, Brook Lopez, I mean, if he can stay healthy, that's big for him. That's very big for him. Joe Johnson, I like the move, but I've always felt like Joe Johnson is one of those guys where he's a little bit overpaid. I mean, he still contributes a lot. He definitely did his thing in Atlanta. But do I think they're top 3? No. As far as best team in New York, I mean, say what you want about New York. They made the playoffs last year, and that all depends. If they can keep Jeremy Lin, I think that would help them. But I mean, at this point right now, I don't think we have to see the season play out before we can say they're better than New York, because New York's a playoff team. Even though they were the 8th seed, they still made the playoffs. Where was New Jersey or Brooklyn, as they're known now? Where were they last year? So it may take some time. Sometimes with these new teams, it takes a year, sometimes 2 years to gel, even with superstars. So we'll see. But right now, no, I still say New York Knicks got them. They can score.
I think that if they get Dwight Howard, they're the best team in New York. And the reason why I don't think they'll have those struggles like other teams had is because everyone does something different. No one's going to clash with their games. Darren Williams is the point guard. He's going to run the point guard. Joe Johnson's going to play the 2. He's the 2. You're going to run plays for him. Dwight Howard, he's athletic. I'm going to run the pick and roll with Dwight. Darren Williams going to have his options. I don't think none of their games are going to clash the way that the Knicks and Amari and Carmelo, their games are clashes because what's his name? Melo likes to ISO, Amari likes to ISO, and then you got the Heat, D Wade and LeBron. They both were the same type of players. I don't think you have that problem in New Jersey because everyone's going to play their position and everyone contributes something different to the game, especially with having Dwight Howard. I think that easily puts them ahead of the Knicks right now because the Knicks is just, they don't mesh. And then you sign Jason Kidd. It's like,
I actually like that Jason Kidd signing, to be honest with you.
I don't.
I'll say this. Jason Kidd's a great...
What is he going to do?
Listen to what I'm telling you.
What is he going to do?
He's going to give you
sign Jeremy Lin, not Jason Kidd.
He's going to give you 20 good minutes, and he's going to mentor Jeremy Lin and teach Jeremy Lin how to play the NBA game and be a real star in New York.
Hey, stop that clapping. Stop that clapping. Stop that clapping. I don't think you don't sign that dude. You focus on Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin plays the point guard position well enough. He did great to me before he got hurt. So I don't think he need to put the add on to Jason Kidd, who at the end of the day is just getting old. He just, he doesn't, I mean, he shoots. I mean, you're saying some people look at him as 3-point shooter. Well, no, he hits some spot up threes.
Think about that.
Well, every now and then, but he's not nothing that. You know,
Listen, exactly, and his 3-point shot has gotten unbelievable. I'll tell you this, Jason
No, his
Kidd.
3-point shot is bad right now.
No,
Look
his
at his
3-point
stats.
shot is good. Are you
No,
kidding
it's
me?
not.
This is
Did you watch the Mavericks? This shit, the guy couldn't hit anything.
Are you crazy,
He
man?
had a couple of shots. I mean, he's an aging old point guard who I wouldn't sign if I'm the Knicks. That doesn't make you better. Signing
promise
Jeremy
you.
Lin makes you better. Not
Tonight
Jason
I'm
Kidd.
announcing
I'll say this. Also, I think Jason Kidd helps Maury and Melo get the ball in the spots they want and help that offense become more efficient. And guys, like I said, a year with Jason Kidd on that team, helping Jeremy Lin do his thing, and with that team set up right, I think the Knicks is a top. I'll say top four team in the East. They probably the fourth team in the East behind Chicago.
You gotta
number 3.
understand, these guys are liabilities on defense when you're that age too. You gotta understand, these guys are very big liabilities when they end the game because they're not gonna defend anybody.
All right, let's go ahead to the next move. What do you think about the signing of Ray Allen, Double A?
Well, I mean, of course, being a Heat fan, I love it. You know, I think that's one of the things I think that won us the title this year was we had a shooter. You know, I mean, yeah, of course, everybody knows, you know, Mike Miller. Everyone wrote off Mike Miller, but then he got hot in the playoffs. Ray Allen is one of those players where if he gets hot in the game, he can control the game. He can win a game for you. So I love it. I think you got him at a great price, which is, you know, pretty much half of what he was going to get in Boston. And I still think he's got another 2 or 3 years left where he can still contribute. You know, yeah, he's up there in age, but I really like with what Miami has and what they're trying to do to defend the championship. I really think it's a great move. I think he's going to be very beneficial to the team.
I promise you.
Go ahead, Talon. What you think about it?
Think
about that.
Obviously, it's a good move because Ray Allen can shoot the 3 ball, so he's a spot-up shooter. He can come off screens and hit the 3. I mean, I still would like them to get a 7-footer in there. I mean, I just think it would be so much easier for D-Wade and LeBron if they had a 7-footer.
Well,
I understand the 3-point shooting is important, and you can't be mad at the move because Ray can still shoot the ball. But I just would like if they would go out there and get a 7-footer or someone who's athletic enough to block shots and control that basket.
Folks, thanks again for tuning in to Spectator Sport. It's your boy Ronnie Lott, the sports jock. Before I go on, let me tell you where to find us. You can check us on Twitter at Spectator Sport, the number 1, at FUK Josh, at Holland Jungle, at Ronnie Lott. And you can check us on Facebook. Please like our Facebook page, Spectator Sport Facebook page. Go ahead and like that. Facebook.com/Spectator Sport. Let's go ahead and continue on with this debate. I'll say the most interesting thing in this whole Ray Allen signing is the fact that he would go to his team's arch nemesis for half the price. Is that a slap in the face at Boston?
It's about championships.
What do you mean it's about championships?
That's what it's about.
So
It's
what-
about championships.
Hold on. Now, so what
You
happened
gotta
to
think
all
about
that
it. They
Boston
re-signed
saying?
Jason Terry too. They signed Jason Terry.
What
too.
happened to all Boston talking about all they needed was Avery Bradley, and they feel they could have easily beaten the Heat? So if Boston really felt that way, why is Ray Allen going to the Heat for half the price that you're willing to give him?
Think
What
about
do you
that.
think about that, Double A?
Well, I mean, I think Ray Allen's made plenty of money, so I don't think it's about the money. I really don't. I think it's, as you said, it's about chasing championships. And who better to get a championship with the current champions, you know? I mean, the Celtics, they're getting old. Garnett's a year older. Paul Pierce is a year older. Yeah, Avery Bradley, great player, but he's only had one good year. You know, Ray Allen, he needs to go somewhere where not only he knows he's going to get the minutes, you know, but he's also going to be a big part. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think it has anything to do with money. I think he just wants to add a couple more rings. And you know, if you want to get a ring right now, you go to Miami, and you have the best shot at getting it.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. Let's go ahead and talk about another good move from a young team, up-and-coming team. Talon, what do you think about some of the moves that were made by the Timberwolves? Minnesota Timberwolves made some great additions. What do you think about the moves by the Timberwolves, Talon?
Who they make? I don't know what moves the Timberwolves made.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? You must got the wrong team there. The Timberwolves didn't make the big moves. Are you talking about the Rockets or who you talking about? Not the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have.
No, they signed Brandon Roy. That's what. That's a good
Oh,
move.
you're talking about
Brandon
the
Roy
Brandon
sign.
Roy sign.
Yeah, Roy
Oh,
sign.
don't say they made big moves. I'm sitting there like, who do they sign?
I know they made a big move. Yeah, Brandon Roy.
I mean, Brandon Roy's not a big move. The guy just came off his knees are horrible. I mean, it's good that you've seen him get back in the game and he doesn't have to retire at such a young age, which when he was such an upcoming star, he was a great player with Portland. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm just happy he got another opportunity. I mean, everything's going. Hopefully, works out with his knees though. And, you know, and he might be able to contribute with Kevin Love, and you got the youngster, the Italian kid or the Spain.
Bargnani.
Well, yeah, that dude, whatever his name is. But I think Brandon Roy, if he comes back to somewhat type of form, he'll be good.
No, you're talking about the point guard. You got the young point guard.
That's what I'm
Ricky
talking
Rubio.
about.
I apologize.
Rubio.
Ricky Rubio.
I mean, him and Rubio paired up. I mean, if Roy can return back to some type of form, and I think it'll be a good move for the Timberwolves.
What do you think about Lynn signing with the Rockets? Double A.
Who was that who signed with the Rockets again?
Jeremy Lin possibly signing with the Rockets.
Yeah, well, he signed the offer sheet. I kind of think that's kind of just like a ploy to get his contract, get a bigger contract from the Knicks, But Jeremy Lin, we all saw last year with that Linsanity and everything going on. I mean, he came out of nowhere. I mean, people forget that this guy was cut by the Rockets. And he's going to take a contract from the same team that wouldn't give him the time of day last year. I don't think so. I think he signed the offer sheet, and I'm pretty sure the Knicks are going to match it, and he's going to go back to the Knicks because I think that's where he wants to be. I think with the media in New York, I think it can only benefit him. His star cannot be as big in Houston as it is in New York. So, I think it was good for Houston to offer it because they're definitely rebuilding. But I ultimately think he's going to end up staying with New York, and he's going to end up playing well, especially with Jason Kidd there to mentor him, as you were talking about before. I think Jason Kidd can only help Jeremy Lin.
Definitely. Folks, thanks again for tuning in to Spectating Sports. It's your boy Ronnie Lott, the Sports. Let's go ahead and talk about also Jason Terry was recently signed by the Celtics. Celtics still making move, even though they lost Ray Allen. They still seem to be a major player in the East for a while. Like I said, you sign a sharpshooter like Jason Terry, you probably don't even lose much with losing Ray Allen if you're going to sign Jason Terry and have Avery Bradley back next year. What do you think about the Boston Celtics talent?
I think, to be honest with you, I think that was a upgrade over Allen because Jason Terry can do more. He can shoot the three-point ball and also take you off the dribble and get to the basket. I mean, his defense, it's a little. I think it's a little better than Ray Allen's, but I think it was an upgrade though. Even though they lost Ray, I think it's an upgrade because he can do more.
What do you think about that, Double A?
Jason Terry, well, it's a good move. It kind of makes me a little curious though, because I know that when he came to Dallas, he was a sixth man, and he was coming off the bench, and he was still getting the starters' numbers while coming off the bench and averaging good numbers, But it does make me curious with Paul Pierce there, Kevin Garnett, and with Avery Bradley, as you said. It might not be enough to go around. I think we're going to see a little bit of a drop from Jason Terry. I don't think we're going to see the same numbers from him. I think that while he may be an upgrade of Ray Allen, I just think if we're going to see anything from Jason Terry, I think it may be next year. But I think with him being on Dallas for all those years and going now to a different team and a different coach and Doc Rivers, I definitely think there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment. But he's a professional, and I'm pretty sure he'll do, good. But I wouldn't be so excited about the Jason Terry move.
I mean, if he just come off the bench. He come off the bench when Garnett and Paul Pierce are sitting on the bench, and with him and Rondo on the floor together. I mean, I don't know if his numbers suffer like really, really bad, but I just think, at some point in time, Paul Pierce, you know how Doc Rivers like to do his rotation. You're gonna put those guys on the bench, and Terry shows you that he can easily get 30 points, 40 points a game when you need him to. So I think it'll be okay.
I'd say this, the reason that signing was made because they understand what Terry did to LeBron in last year's finals, and Boston's trying to steal some of that magic. They need a LeBron stopper. They need someone to take LeBron's heart again. So I think that was the reason for the move. I don't agree with it. I'm all about the king. Respect LeBron. He brought us our champion. He is a champion.
Tonight
But
I'm
Boston, we
announcing-
see y'all working.
You're joking. You're joking, right?
Hey, man.
You just called Jason Terry a LeBron stopper.
Not on defense.
Remember,
Remember he bust LeBron's, I hate to say it, ass in the finals. LeBron
for
couldn't
real,
guard
bro.
him. He was hitting
You're
three after
talking
three.
about
Him and Barea. Him and
A
Barea.
6'3" little piece of you know what is going to be a LeBron stopper. Be for real.
I'm
Give
not
LeBron more
saying
respect than
on
that.
defense for him to guard LeBron. I'm saying that when that
Which he did in the finals.
he did, but remember LeBron was guarding him
JJ
and he was
Barea
eating
guarded
LeBron.
LeBron
He was taking him to the
James
basket.
Finals.
He was shooting threes. LeBron was on skates against his kid.
LeBron,
I'm telling you.
hey, that doesn't make him a LeBron killer. Get out of here. Be
The
for
kid was
real.
on skates.
Okay, if you want to say he was a LeBron killer, you go ahead and take
Hey,
that. But I don't think
Doc
no one's
Rivers
worried
know
about
what he's
that.
doing, man. I'm never gonna doubt Doc Rivers. This guy's gonna coach him up, so he know the LeBron killer. So hey, man, it is what it is.
Okay. A 3-time MVP champion, you're talking about a 6'3" piece of trash is going to stop it. Be for real, dude.
The views expressed by this jerk over here are not the views of spectating
That
sport,
is the
and we
views of
apologize
Spectator
to
Sport.
Jason Terry.
Jason Terry, you're in the scrub, but compared to LeBron, you're a piece of trash. You're a piece of garbage. He's 6'8", 260. He's a man. Let's move along.
Now, we're just kidding, Jason Terry. He's a great guy. I like Jason Terry. He's a good player. Double A Ron, man, thanks for being in the building. Folks, expect a lot more of Double A Ron. This kid knows his sports. We're going to have him on every week. The kid know what he's talking about. We'll have him on a lot more. Thanks again for tuning in, Double A Ron. We'll get up with you a little bit later.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you both so much. Thank you.
All right, later. Folks, thanks again for tuning in Spectator Sports. Your boy Ronnie Lott, the Sports Jock. Let me get a little beef, man. I'm feeling kind of beefy. I heard 40 Glock almost got knocked out. I want to hear some beef, man. Let me get that intro.
We here. You know what beef is?
We here.
What's beef?
Tell me something, man. I hear your boy 40 Glock talking junk in LA.
Guaranteed to
Circling Birdman in the whip, circling, I guess it was Slim, Wayne. Now I see him running away from what's that? Black BMF?
Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street.
BMF. There's
My
too
bad,
many
my bad.
people.
Let me get my facts right. I apologize. You know, flies, we don't ever get the facts correctly. But this is our fly. This is the fly segment of Spectator Sport, folks. We gotta get in with the streets. We want to know what the streets is talking about. You know, it's all about beef. We just talk. We didn't tell you about Crunchy Black being shot. You know that's beef. Let's talk about 40 Glock, then we get into Crunchy Black. What do you thought about 40 Glock getting stole on, trying to square up with the dudes? I can't condone 10 dudes beating one guy, but you know, if you're the one guy who's always talking trash online, always trying to beat up people, always trying to be that guy, somebody's gonna come and see you. I'm not that guy, so nobody don't come see me. Thank you.
Tonight I'm announcing-
Kyler Wood jumping at the time, but he's texting.
What?
He might be sexting. I'm not sure.
Go ahead. I mean, 40 Glock, he got what he deserved. Stop running up on dudes that not from your city, 100 deep. Now when dudes from your city who calling you out, now who done knocked you out, and you still ain't do nothing. Now we know what type of dude you really are. You a punk. I mean, you only can talk and be hard when you got your clique around you. Now when some dude run up on you, where your boys at now? Not everybody hiding. So he got what he deserved.
Hey man, you know what they say in life. It's
What's your home address, Tyler?
why don't you give 40 Glock your home address and we gonna see who's the punk.
Oh, give 40 Glock my home address. Wow, if he can run up on me 100 deep, I'm good.
Exactly. Hey, I'll tell you this, man.
Now,
Anybody
40 Glock want to meet me in the alley one-on-one, going to give me that thing, I'll take that on.
you take a head out over 40.
I'll take a head over 40, but I'm not taking 100 deep.
Taylor,
But-
you 260. You 240. Hopefully you take a head up with somebody.
I'll take
Nah.
a head up with 40 Glock, but I'm not taking a head up with 40 Glock when he 100 deep, like he
Man,
was
hey.
on Plies and Slim from
I
from
promise
Cash
you.
Money.
Folks, I forgot we were doing this show. This is how the flies act, folks. Giving you guys a little insight into the life of a fly. This is what we do. You know, we talk about beef. We talk about what scumbags do in the streets, what criminals are doing, what rappers are doing. That's what we talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about another great guy, one of the X36 Mafia members, one of my personal favorite members, Crunchy Black. I'm a black man myself. I'm kind of crunchy. So when somebody else come out with the moniker Crunchy Black, you know, I mean, I gotta dig that. So what you thought about Crunchy Black being shot and telling them fool, you can't stop me. That ain't gonna stop me.
You should play some of the skit
Yeah,
for him, but
I need some of that interview.
Hey, it's crazy. You get shot in your face and you're still living. Yo, it's crazy. That man
And you back in the
is-
studio a week later, still recording on your
Recording.
$10,000 Newman mic.
Yeah, it's $10,000 mic that it's $10,000 mic that hear everything. But I mean, country was a man back in the day when I was in high school. Everyone listened to 3-6 Mafia, you know. But
Except
that's what
me.
happens though. You can't be sleeping. You can't sleep in these streets when these boys want you. Cause this is what happens. You end up getting shot in your face. You got all them boys in the interview. But where they was at when you would get your ass shot in the face? I don't understand that. Like, where was these niggas at? This is what you niggas is here for. You niggas here for protect me. Take that bullet. I'm the money man. You know what I'm saying? I guess they don't understand like, how the mafias ran. But you're supposed to protect the big man of the family. And then one needs to take a charge and one needs to get murked. They ain't do that for Crunchy. And boy got shot in the face. That's what happens. You can't mess with flies. I want to say something else, but you can't mess with flies. So them boys, they don't play no games.
It's a bad business. But you know what? I'll say this, man. When we move on from Crunchy, the guy seems like a pretty decent guy. One thing that did stand out for me personally in the interview was his continual remembrance to put God in his situation and wanting to be around God-filled people in a godly situation as opposed to his previous situation, which was contrary to that. But that's all I'm going to say on
Well,
that.
I'm opposed to that point of view right there because just the simple fact is,
I didn't say anything.
This
What
same
point of view are you opposed to? I didn't say
who's talking
anything.
about that he loves the Lord, I need to go listen to the first song that he has on his album or his tour. Now, if this man's talking about the violence, the drugs, the sex with women, fornicating, all that stuff, how did you really give your life to God?
He's a
Now,
pimp game.
Yeah,
How you expect a pimp not to have women?
Okay, so like I said, yeah, get out of there with that BS then that you were just talking.
Speaking about beef and life topics, let's talk about something serious. You know, one of the great quote I recently heard from a great guy. He talked about a quote, and the quote was, "My word means everything. My word is my bond." You know, so a lot of times, you know, in this country, a lot of people, their words are meaningless because they have no. What's the word I'm looking for? Not sub-morals, I guess. It is morals, but I'll find the word, folks. Forgive me. Not balls. Not so much balls. It's I'll get it. But you know, some people they just don't have that etiquette. You know, they don't have morals. Wow, talent. You are sexting. Can you cut it out? This is a show. We're doing a show, and you're looking at it.
Hey, that go hard as hell right there. I ain't gonna lie to you right now.
Folks.
I need to get some freaks for this right here.
Talent is currently on World Star while we're doing this
These
show.
are two hoes right now. Just let you know that too. This is not just one. This is not a mirror. There's two hoes doing this right now.
Folks.
I would get very excited if I was by myself.
This dude's out of control. Folks, we're going to have to cut the show short. The talent has to go and handle his business. Let's give him an intermission so he can come back
really
fully rejuvenated.
Good.
Take a little weight
All
off.
right, go
man.
ahead. My bad. I didn't even do all that. I didn't know it was going to get that serious with the video just now.
Thank you, Talent, for ruining my segment. Let's go ahead and talk about recently there were a adulterous woman that was killed by, I guess, some Afghan men. It was she took 5 shots, and what they did, they toasted cheers after her.
Yeah, they celebrated basically while she was getting shot. Basically, 150 men gathered around, watched her get murked because she committed adultery against her husband. And this is what happens to these women. And I mean, it's kind of hard for me because I'm not like an evil person. So it's kind of hard for me just to say, you know, I condone her being killed because I know it's extreme, but they did say Allah told them to do it. but it's just the simple fact that I can understand. Like I can understand why she got murked. Do I condone it? No, I can't condone it because my heart is pure. So I can't condone her being murdered. But at the same time, these are the consequences you must suffer because you can't just you get married to somebody and you go in front of the Lord and you take those vows and then you're out cheating on your husband. I mean, in America, that flies. It's okay. No one cares. But in countries like that, she should have known that this was going to happen.
I'll tell you this, like we talk about, you know what? People, their word means everything. So if you're going to marry this man in a Muslim country, well, you know them boys ain't joking, and you going to sleep around, you're not even allowed to show your face in public. And you tell me you're going to commit adultery? I mean, like I said, I'm not someone who's, I can't say I agree with it, but I mean, it is what it is. You got to understand, this is what happens in that particular type of society. You know, it's swift justice. These guys, and you know, I am a bit turned off by the story when I seen that they toasted to it. You know, I mean, come on, are you kidding me?
Well,
You
the
gonna?
guys got shot. The general came in and shot both dudes.
Oh, that toasted to it?
Yeah, the reason for the fight.
The reason for the.
Yeah, well, they can check the article on the YouTube, but they got killed. The two dudes.
That killed the woman?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what happened. Swift justice. The two guys that killed the woman, folks, apparently got killed. So this is what happened. If you out here killing women, you gonna get killed.
It was 100.
That's how I interpret
It was
the story.
150
I don't know
men out
about
there
y'all,
cheering.
but I know if you out here killing women, you
So
gonna get
why they
killed.
kill the guys?
I agree with him.
Allah told them to do it. This is what Allah said. The woman commits adultery, she must die.
Hey, Allah must have told him whoever kill a woman must die. Them fools is dead right now. Folks, this is spectator sport. This is what we do when we ain't got nothing to talk about. But let's get back to the seriousness of the show. Thanks again for tuning in. This is Spectator Sport. It's your boy Ronnie Lott, the Sports Guy. You know where to find us. Check us on Twitter at Spectator Sport, the #1. Check us on Facebook. Let's look at the story again a little bit. In order to save face, they basically killed the dude just in order to save face. But I mean, come on, man. You can't be out here celebrating that. You can't celebrate someone else's death. You know, I mean, death is such a.
Nearly 9 out of 10 women suffer physical, sexual, or psychological violence or forced marriage at least once in their lifetime.
Wow. At least 9 out of 10 women suffer physical, sexual, psychological violence or forced marriage at least once in their lifetime. This is all over the world, correct? Oh, just in Afghan. So in Afghan, wow. 9 out of 10 women. Wow. You know what? I want to give a shout out to all the Afghani women out there. You know what? I would never treat my women like that. And my Afghani women, we love y'all, man. Spectator Sport, love y'all. We
The
give props
views
to y'all.
expressed by him
Love
or
y'all.
his views by itself, I condone the behavior of beating women if they commit adultery just because of the simple fact because you need to have some type of order. It has to be a consequence.
Ask
I'm
the
sorry.
question. What if you
Shut
commit
up.
adultery,
Shut
fool?
up.
What happens
Shut
if you
up. I'm a
commit
man.
adultery?
Allah,
Should they
listen
take
to
you out? Should Allah take you out and kill you?
Hey, Allah said that for a woman, not a man. Listen to me. Listen to me.
I promise you.
Listen to me. Like I said, I'm sorry. I don't care what people think. These are
Oh,
my
man.
views.
Now, the women's
I feel
groups
the
are
fact
gonna be
that
all over
That
us.
is her problem. I mean, like I said, I don't condone her getting killed, but I understand why they did it because, you know, it's part, you know, Allah told them to. You know who Allah is. So at the same time, you know, if you commit adultery, like these women around here, they commit adultery, nothing happens to them. They get divorced, everything's sweet and dandy.
about
So
that.
that's why they have no respect for men over here. Women really don't have a lot of respect in the United States for men these days. They just don't. But over in countries like that, those women, they respect their men.
They fear.
You know what I'm saying?
It's fear.
I don't care how. Hey, I don't care. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? They know
Love and fear
this
is
what
completely
happens.
different. That's
but this is
two
what
things,
happens.
man.
You disrespect me and my household, or you shame this family. Something's gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? And the women
Tonight
over
I'm
there,
announcing-
they just don't have respect for men over here. And you know, I kind of envy, you know, how they live as far as the marriage, the sanctity of marriage over in Afghanistan versus in the United States. Because we really don't have no sanctity of marriage over here. It's a joke. People get divorced every single day.
So yeah, Talon. So if that was your wife, what do you have done? If your wife was caught committing adultery, folks, if this happens in the future, please destroy the tapes.
I'm gonna
And tell
beat her.
how to incriminate himself.
I'm gonna beat her, and after I beat her, she's gonna get divorced. That's what's gonna happen. Plain and simple. She's gonna get beat, and I don't condone hitting women for no reason. But if your wife cheats on you, let me start an example. Like the movie Crazy Stupid Love. I don't know if you gentlemen have ever seen it, but the movie Crazy Stupid Love. Steve Carell's sitting at the dinner with his wife, and his wife tells him, "I slept with another man." And that situation there, if he just comes across the table and just smacks her, and I was in the restaurant and I heard it, I would just be like, "Hey, that ain't nobody business. Everyone mind their business." She just told this man some.
So both of y'all would have been going to jail.
Hey, that's it. Hey, I condone that. You can't just cheat on your husband and there's no consequence to that.
So should there be a
Nothing
consequence
at all.
for the man?
No, that's
Why
not. What
not?
you talking
Get
about?
out of here, man. It
It's
isn't a
no
double
consequence.
standard.
It's
It
a
does
double
not
standard.
work that way.
It's exactly.
It does
'Cause
not
back
work
in-
that way.
what
Life
was
doesn't
it,
work that way.
What was the king's name? King Pharaoh, whatever the dudes back in the day.
Hold on, folks. Folks, I apologize. Did this fool just say King Pharaoh? Come on, Talon.
I don't know. The dudes back in the day.
Come on, Talon. You can't say King Pharaoh.
King
man.
Pharaoh, I know them boys. But they used to have 100 wives and stuff. That's celebrated. Men, we have that right. We have that privilege. This is how it's always been. Since the Stone Age. You know, back in the day, cavemen used to go out and they see a woman, that's mine. I knock you over the head, drag you back to the cave. That's how we live.
Smash and be.
That's it. But that's what I'm saying. That's why the women, it's different for women, though. It's just, that's what it is. I don't make these rules. These rules were set in place a long time ago before I was even, you know what I'm saying?
Folks, the chauvinistic views expressed by the Talon is clearly his own chauvinistic views and not the views of this part of Spectator Sport, the number one, and you can find me on Twitter.
The scared part of Spectator Sports, I speak my mind, this is what it is.
I am the Talon.
Let's go ahead and keep it moving,
sign up a
folks.
month in
One
advance.
of us got to be politically correct. Both of us can't be politically incorrect. Let me go ahead. Let's switch it up, folks. You know what? There was a big fight last night. Somebody being politically not correct. Chael Sonnen talking a lot of trash. Talking a lot of trash, talking about Brazilian people, Brazilian kids, and them playing in mud while you was with your homeboy, living it up. Then you get in the ring, second round knockout. Let's go ahead and get our UFC expert, one Willie Reed, on the phone. Folks, give me a minute. Let's get him on the horn. Hello, Willie.
Yes, sir.
This is Ronnie Lott, the sports jock with Spectator Sport. We got our MMA UFC analyst Willie Reed on the horn. Tell us a little bit about what you thought about that Chael Sonnen ass whooping last night he took from the greatest fighter in all time UFC history, Anderson Silva. How you felt about that fight?
Well, like I was telling everybody, I was sitting here jumping on the white boy's jock. The same thing was going to happen to him that happened to everybody else. It looked completely different now that Anderson Silva don't got a cracked rib and he can't move, bob, weave, get out of the way of them slow-ass, goofy-ass punches the white boy was throwing. And he wound up getting his ass knocked out, round 2 TKO. Same thing that's going to happen to everybody else if they line up with the man.
Willie, can we please say Caucasian, Willie?
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. You can't.
Please say Caucasian, please.
We understand that this is a fly program, but we are politically correct, and we refer to them as agents. So you just say he knocked the agent out. So you feel me? They can't be upset because they call us flies when we're not around. So let's keep it moving. So give me a little bit of insight into the fight. Pre-fight, I know Chael talked a lot after the first fight. He was going to do this. He's talking reckless about Brazilian kids. Give me a little bit of insight into that, man.
Man, like I say, well, first of all, everybody have to be a bad guy, good guy going into a fight. And Anderson Silva don't talk enough to be a bad guy, no matter how much we want to paint him as one at times, the way he fight, his shenanigans when he's in the ring doing capoeira and all that. That's a dude that just enjoys fighting. His whole life has been based on fighting. Chael, I mean, he did the right thing to get a rematch. He knew nobody really wanted to see a rematch because after everybody found out that man had cracked ribs, and not through Anderson Silva, but through Dana White, then everybody's like, oh, well, that's understandable. If you do want to fight Anderson Silva, I mean, The dude got the proper game plan. You got to go in, ground him. You try to stay away from his striking. You try to keep him on the ground, wear him out, tire him out. But even with the dude technically putting the best game plan possible together, he still lost. No way around it. And it's not even me being biased towards Anderson Silva, because truthfully, I don't like him the best out of all the fighters. But, I mean, real recognize real, and I hate to say it, man, the man's pretty much borderline unbeatable in that weight class and in 205. And I know everybody going to stream out stuff about that, but Shell, he pretty much just took a bad guy role in it. He knew that's the way he get paid. That's the way he get his rematch. Some of the comments he made about Brazilian kids was a little over the top. It was a little bit out there, but he made them, and that's why he got his face pounded in for it.
Hey, I'd say this, man. Anderson did it for the Brazilian kid, because when he hit him with that flying knee to the face, I know he wasn't thinking about Brazilian kids then.
No, I know all he was thinking about then was trying to get up out of that ring and get to the nearest restroom to hold himself and cry in the shower. But, I mean, that's on him. That's life decisions he made. And they was talking about a part 3 possibly for it, since, you know, who gets hit with a flying knee. But, I mean, I wouldn't want to watch it. I don't want to see it, so.
Let me ask you this. How did you feel about that first round? Because in all honesty, the first round went the same way the first fight went, and you were thinking this guy was straight. You thought this guy was about to do his thing. You know, everything. I mean, his game plan was basically carried out perfectly. So you thinking after that first round, wow, if he gets Anderson down again, which he did shoot, it could get ugly. You know, it can go the same way that first fight. What do you think about that?
Well, the difference is the first fight, his striking was 10 times better because Anderson couldn't move. I mean, like I say, I know everybody keeps saying, oh, you just trying to be an undercover Anderson fan, but, I mean, you got to go through Anderson Silva fights and watch him when he fought Forrest Griffin, watch him, you know, Bonner, all these people that got decent striking and quote-unquote superior striking. They can't land punches on the man. This guy comes along who's not known for his striking at all, and he's not only grounding Anderson Silva, but he's knocking him around like a ping pong. I mean, people who do land punches on him, Anderson got a hell of a chin. I don't know how, but he could take a punch here and there, but never have you seen Anderson just get outstruck by somebody with a shorter reach and slightly shorter than him. That just don't go together. But this guy, I mean, he got a good game plan. I was looking at the first round. I've seen a couple punches, and I'm like, Anderson Silva's going to knock this dude out. And everybody's like, what do you mean? And it wasn't nothing that the dude was doing different. He was doing his game plan. But Anderson Silva on the opposite end was now you could see he was more fluent in his movements. He could move around better. He wasn't looking flustered like the first time, like, okay, I'll let you do whatever you want or whatsoever. His movements it looked like a different Anderson Silva, even with the, I mean, what do y'all tell me to call them? Asian? I mean, what am I allowed to call them?
Agents.
I don't know.
Like an insurance agent? Like an insurance agent?
I'm going to say bum. The bum. Even though the bum was looking just like the first fight, Anderson Silva wasn't looking like the first Anderson Silva in that fight. So
what do you think the future holds for Anderson Silva moving forward? I mean, you talk about, I don't think there's any real fights out there that anybody to really test him. What do you think the future holds?
Man, what the man should do, since he walk around at 240, I know he's a little advanced in age, but he should just go up to 205 and square off with John Jones.
How do you think that fight will work out? I mean, that'll be a hell of a fight. Jones been showing a lot. You think Silva could take care of Jones?
I think Rashad out of all people kind of showed that Jones could be fought with, because John Jones didn't look as exciting, and everybody's trying to say it's because, you know, they know each other. I think to that it's a certain degree correct, but at the end of the day, John Jones doesn't have your basic jab, straight, hook. If you ever watch John Jones fight, because he hasn't had many fights, he can't throw a normal combination of normal punches. Everything he does is unorthodox. And I think that in itself is the only reason Anderson Silva could get in the ring. Now, don't get me wrong. If John Jones catch Anderson Silva with a reverse spinning backhand or reverse spinning back elbow to the top of Anderson's head, of course, Anderson's going to sleep. But I think Anderson would take him a lot more serious than he take everybody else and prepare himself for the unorthodox nature of John Jones, and it have to be a straight fight. It have to be an honest to goodness fight. It can't be none of that craziness. And I think Rashad Evans showed that in the last fight. John Jones, if you take that spectacular stuff away, and if you have some of the physical gifts like height, reach, stuff like that, you can at least compete with the man. Rashad, he was outmatched. He was too short. He's 5'10". Although he has a spectacular reach, your reach kind of swaps out because you're punching upwards and your reach gets taken away a little bit. So I think that was just a mismatch. And even with that, Rashad Evans proved to the world he's no bum. He went in there with, quote unquote, the best fighter on the planet, and the man at times couldn't do nothing. It was just a boring stalemate of a fight. So
I definitely agree with you on that. And last and final question: is there any fight other than that particular fight? Well, before I go there, let's say this: what are the chances you think of that fight actually happening? Do you think Dana White would allow it to go that way? And how do you feel about Dana White overall? I know a lot of people has said it previous that Dana White was good for the sport because he did what boxing isn't able to do. He made the people who needed to fight. But now it's almost like where now a lot of people are looking at Dana more of like he's a dictator and it's a dictatorship, something like the NFL. So how do you feel about Dana and what do you think the chances are of that fight happening?
I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, in the beginning of the sport, he did what he knew boxing wouldn't do. I mean, you take Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. Everybody been wanting to see this just one fight for about 5 years now. Nobody could watch the fight. Well, Dana, you want to see Rashad Evans and Rampage fight? Guess what? That's the first fight you see. You want to see even if it's Anderson Silva and Sean again or whatsoever, Sean again, you see the fight. John Jones, Rashad Evans, you see the fight. I mean, they give you the fight time in and time out that you want to see. But now, because UFC has now become a billion-dollar industry, when you have people like, some people actually think GSP, George St. Pierre, could beat Anderson Silva. I think because he's a smaller man, he can't. But that fight should happen. It won't. Because if GSP loses, that takes away from his money value. That takes away from, Dana White being able to say, I have this superior fighter in the fight game or whatsoever, and people are less likely inclined to want to watch a GSP fight. Now, if you go to watch a GSP fight, he sells out just like boxing. I mean, you go to any of your little sports bars, the sports bars are packed on UFC nights when you're like, whoa, when did UFC become this big? I mean, and John Jones, Anderson Silva, that won't happen. Anderson Silva is about 38, 39 years old. If he was to go in there and embarrass John Jones, just as he's done everybody else, then the value of John Jones is gone. Now you have a new 205 champion who very well, Anderson may say, I quit, I retire.
Exactly.
There's really nothing for me to do.
Exactly.
Do you really want to go back and watch John Jones, see all the flaws in John Jones' games, which are there, but at least now there's nobody to take advantage of them and exploit them on the public level? You see those get exploited, and now you just look like, oh, you're just a regular fighter. You're just a lot bigger than everybody in that weight class. You're just a very athletic dude. You're a good fighter, but you're not an all-time great. So from a financial standpoint, you can't blame Dana White because, I mean, although there's a lot of fighters out there in the world, you won't have these top-caliber fighters. So it's more of a business now than before where they was really doing everything for the level of fighting, level of sport, or what have you. I mean, even in his acquisition back in the day to go get Rampage from Pride, he brought Rampage over just because people said Chuck Liddell could beat Rampage. And they want to see Chuck fight him again because Chuck had previously lost a couple times. He paid Rampage an ungodly amount of money for UFC standards just to come over there and fight Chuck Liddell. You won't see that no more. Now it's all about the money. It's all about the viewing. It's all about the public. It's no longer about the love of the sport, fighting, and giving fans what they want. It's about Dana White, his associate, Zuffa, them doing what they need and what they want to do to get their brand on a higher level. Simple as that, period.
And I being an individual trying to build a brand myself, I can't say I fault him for that. But like you say, it takes away from the sport. Well, Willie, it was great having you on the show, man. Your insight was unbelievable. It was epic, man. You did it big. We definitely going to have you on Spectator Sport again. Thanks for being on the show, man.
I appreciate you having me.
All right, thanks. Bye. All right, let's go keep it moving. Spectator sport, folks. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Wimbledon. You know, talent being from Boca, being a Boca boy, this kid loves tennis. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit
That
about
has
tennis.
nothing to do with my love for tennis. I started loving tennis when I went to college.
He used to
so-
play tennis with them, with some of those.
Well, I started playing college in tennis, number one, so I didn't play tennis when I was in high school, so I didn't really know about tennis. But we can go ahead and talk about tennis, talk about Serena Williams.
Hopefully, you don't play tennis the way you play golf.
First of all, I'm a great golfer and a great tennis player at an amateur level. But we can go ahead and get into the Serena wearing a 14th Grand Slam. This is historical. They're putting her on the level up there with Tiger, you know, when he won his 14th major. She dominated the match. I mean, that serve she had is just
Unbelievable.
It's just powerful, and it just controlled that match the whole. You know, she struggled. There was some struggles initially, you know, but then that serve just came on, and she just completely took control of that whole match. She was moving her from left to right. The backhand was going. The forehand was powerful. The girl, she basically just overpowered, her opponent, and it just she wasn't just. It really, like, when you watched the match, you just seemed like it was like Serena was in control the whole time. You didn't feel like she was ever in danger of losing that match once her serve, and she was getting those first serves in. It was over basically. She was just too powerful for that girl, and she was being moved from left to right, short from long. It was just she just could never be on the offensive. She was continuously on the defensive, when she was playing Serena, and you can't win a tennis match like that.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you. Serena was definitely another epic win for her. It was a few years since her last Wimbledon win, but like I said, man, this is her fifth victory at Wimbledon. Serena, her game is unbelievable. When she's serving like that, she's nearly unbeatable. No one in the game can touch her when she's on her game. It's always been an issue of whether or not Serena is there, or if she's healthy, or if there isn't any other issues going on. But if she's on her game, she's untouchable. Let's talk a little bit about the men's match. In the finals, you had Federer versus
Andy Murray.
Andy Murray, the British champ, trying to become the first British champ, but he wasn't able to do it. Federer wins his 7th Wimbledon title. I was really excited to see Federer get his win, to be honest with you. I'm a big Federer fan. I just like what he stands for. He seems like just like a gentleman. I'm a gentleman myself. I like people that carry themselves as gentlemen, not like 40 Glock or anything, but spectator sport. Let's keep it moving. Federer wins his seventh title. He did it real big. Murray, I didn't think Murray had a chance. Once I seen Federer was able to get rid of in the semis, Djokovic. Once he was able to get rid of Djokovic in the semis, which was another epic match. Like I said,
I promise you.
Once he's able to do that, you knew Federer was going to win. I'm just happy to see Rogers able to get it done. How you felt about the men's final, Talent?
Now, the men's final, Andy Murray had the opposite problem as Serena. His first serve is what would have won him this match. But as the match went along after he won the first set, he's had his percentage of his first serve start to go down. So basically meaning like he wasn't getting that first serve
Can't
in.
be as aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. His second serve, Roger Federer was stepping up and blasting forehands and backhands back at him, which he was not able to handle after that first set. And, Federer had Murray on the move the whole day. He was moving him left, right. He was covering the whole court. Murray could not hit one shot with Federer not just being there trying to attack that shot. I'm talking about with that forehand that he has is just ridiculous. And it's just like Murray, he couldn't get that first serve in. It was like I don't know what happened after the first set, but Federer just showed that he was obviously the better tennis player because his whole game was on. He was hitting the backhands, the forehands. Now I'm winning. That guy has probably the most crucial forehand ever in tennis because it's so controlling. It can control a match with the power that, when he's knocking it back over the net. But he just had he had control of that whole match. I mean, the only chance that Murray had is if he was, continue to get his first serve in, which he couldn't do.
That time, your observations are definitely correct. Like I said, once you're not if you can't get that first serve in, your second serve is not an aggressive serve. It's a volley serve at that particular point. So you're really just trying to put it in play to not go double fault. So if you're just trying to put it in play against the likes of a Roger Federer, it's no way his return game is just too unbelievable where you're not going to be able to beat him. And like you say, if you can't get that first serve in, you can forget about it. Folks, it's almost been our show, but let me give you a little bit more. It's Spectator Sport. We always want to give the fans a little bit more. I want to give y'all a little bit more insight into what y'all should expect from the future moving forward, from the Holland Jungle family, from everybody in the building. Please.
Speedo videos coming out this week.
Please look out for that new Despido video by the kid Nando Chang at Nando Chang 89. It's gonna be epic. The video was shot in Peru, so you know we doing it international at Holland Jungle. So y'all watch out for that, man. Despido video coming from the kid Nando Chang. We got that new Muscle Beats presents Flex With Me Volume 1. That should be releasing on the 15th of July, so that should be coming the next week or so.
Think about that.
That's gonna be epic. I know
Night
the
I'm
kid Muscle put a
announcing-
lot of work into that. You expect hits from songs like Heavy. You got your boy Soldier's gonna be on there. TSU made the mixtape, so that's definitely gonna be epic. Look out for that. We got something special working with this kid Tone Bone. Y'all folks, look out for this kid at Wicked Belly. At Wicked Belly, I'm telling you, folks. I know the name is a little funny, but listen to what I'm telling you. This kid is destined for greatness. Also, I got some other heat right next to me. Look out for the kid MGT, because I'm telling you, Beats is crazy. I know y'all heard him on that track. Work, forget it, kids, forget it. Look out for my boy MGT. You know we always got talent in the building. He just got money. I don't know how, but this kid always working. So let's keep it moving. Spectator Sport.
You put my personal affairs on
Check
there.
us on YouTube. Check us on Facebook. Please like our page. Donate some money to us. Do something. Donate some fans. Like our show. We like y'all. And if you 40 Glock or somebody, don't be mad at us. Like our show. Peace.